Alrighty, welcome back. I'm your man Bad Chad, and Queen Jolene's on the camera, and we got Doug in the house. Doug's going to help me apply the front end back to the chassis that we cut off yesterday. For those who did not get yesterday's memo, we are shortening the chassis, and the reason being is because of the tire size. It's actually because of the tire size and how big we're going to build this bad boy. It was too long for the tire size and the toolboxes that I wanted on the side. So we are actually shrinking what we're making, the 1934 Doodlebug tanker. We're shrinking it to make it look like it. We're not building something 26 feet long. We're building something about 15 feet long. No doubt in my mind, somewhere around there. I'm not sure. Yesterday, when we cut the chassis off, I don't like making shrinking something or making something smaller or changing the frame difficult. And this is what happened. We cut the frame off yesterday. Boom. We pulled the front end off. We want to shorten it 20 inches. We took a tape measure from where I cut it off, measured back 20 inches, and cut the floor off. This is where the 20 inches is, right there where the floor is. Now, I left, as you can see, there's chassis still left there. What happened is I took and measured the distance. This is a piece that was inside the chassis. I measured how long that was, and I left that sticking out because that's the piece that goes inside the chassis. But in order to take 20 inches out of it off, wherever I cut it off, I measured back 20 inches, right where this is. That's 20 inches. I left this part of the chassis to go inside of that chassis. So this really has nothing to do with how much I took out of it. Well, it does, because I want that there to go inside the chassis where it was before. But you have to stop and think about it for a second. Didn't measure it, didn't anything, just cut it off. If I cut it off shorter on this side and measure back 20 inches, and I cut it off longer on this side, if it's longer on this side and I cut it off and measure back 20 inches, it's still got to be the same distance because we're only taking 20 inches out of it. It's not like if you know what I'm trying to say, if this nose over here was longer than this one, well, when I take my measurement from where I cut off, well, that means that this is longer and this would go back further. If that one was shorter, this one would be longer. You know, basically what I'm trying to say. Do you know what I'm trying to say, Doug? If I measure back from where I cut it off, 20 inches, that's the distance that we're going. So don't make it any more difficult than that. Where I left this piece on, or where I got this piece left on here, I'm going to do the exact same thing they've done. They've got a cutout on the front of the chassis, or on the front of that piece that goes in there that looks like that. So I'm going to make 4 of those right at the present moment, and we're going to cut them off of that so we can slide that up in there. Also, we had to cut off, there's an inner side construction here, you can see it on this side. That had to be cut off in order to slide that frame up in there. Once we get the frame in there, so then we'll reconnect, we'll come back onto this and we'll weld it back onto the side of the chassis like it should be. That's like it should be. Alrighty. I'm going to take a piece of paper, and I got a marker in my pocket. I'm going to take and make this little thing right here. Let's make this. It's going to take this and leave it like that. See how I got that going right to the end? Now watch this. Pair of scissors. We may take a couple measurements, and the way to get something square is to cross measure it. So if I want to get the front end, make sure the front end is square, I'll find a point that's on the chassis that's stationary and measure it from cross reference to cross reference to make sure that it's square. If you want to do that, you can, and we probably will. So I'm going to do this. How did that go in the front or the back? I got to take a look for a second. Goes in the front. Just slide that underneath there like that. Do that one. Get 4 of them. I'm hoping that everything slides together nice. And if I do not like anything, I just take it apart and fix it. That's with anything that you're doing. If you do not like it, take it apart and fix it. All right, Doug, if you got a zip cut if you want.
Kinda.
So we're just zip cutting. Wow, quite a horn. Zip cutting that. You zip cut that. Right straight across there like that.
Sure thing.
We don't want to cut the chassis. We just want to go on. We want to leave the chassis, right? So if you cut that off, cut them 4 tail. Cut that tail off. I can put it. I'll cut them other pieces out, Doug, with this bad boy. If you want to take, we'll switch over here, go over there. You just want to knock off the slag off that, these Douglas? Yeah. deal. Got a flapper wheel here, Doc. I'm going to put the flapper wheel on it. Might do a little bit of a better job. Now, what I'm thinking is, I'm just thinking out loud, I'm thinking this little notch here sucks. It sucks this frame down in tight on the back is what I'm thinking. So I'm thinking that I had a hard time getting that piece out last night, or yesterday, when that piece, trying to bat it up, it would not come up. I'm thinking when that goes down in there, it slides it down in there. And also you can see where this is that long, from there to there, I think it's 10 inches and a little better. You can see where the frame's opened up there a little bit to allow that to go in. We know where we're going to because this is the 20 inches. So I'm thinking the back of this right here is going back here. Let's try to put it on. We might have a little difficult putting it on. We might. It could be a lot of tongue stuff. A pair of gloves, Doug. A lot of, you know, holding your tongue right and that sort of stuff. But
bite your tongue the right way, it'll go in?
Well, basically what I'm trying to say, yes. Them little gloves. All right, I'll use those. Thank you, sweetheart. Jolene looks amazing today. Daisy Dukes. Little plaid shirt. Not sure what that was.
I don't know. Fina heard it though. She's looking over that way. Someone across the way.
Okay. Oh, we still have someone at the door. Old John's here, old buddy. Good timing. Oh yeah. No, I'm just talking out loud. How's yours look, Doug? I gotta go down. I gotta go down. You gotta go over here. Just a minute now. Just to take it. We'll just steer it over if we can. All right.
You gotta come my way a little
bit. Yeah, let's go back out some. How you doing today, John? Better than you was before? No, just a second now. All right, now. Yep, just there we go. Oh, look at that. Now I'm gonna help you. Mine's on. Yours, Doug, on?
Yep.
Just a second. Oh, you are on, aren't you?
Oh yeah.
Hot diggity Doug. Hot diggity Doug.
What are you doing?
I don't know if it matters if we know what we're doing, but
make a little clip there.
All right.
That's tight, though.
Huh?
It's tight in there now.
Well, that's what it's supposed to move. It's what it's supposed to be. Oh, don't want to push it off the. Maybe. Oh, don't want to push it off the wheels, off the jack stands. Actually, I think we're probably just a little bit. You probably got more on than. There we go.
Try to win at the same time.
Yeah. All right, now. I'm thinking we'll just keep going right up to where we're supposed. We're getting close.
Looking good.
Mine's pretty well right on the money. I think you have to go on a little bit further.
Doesn't move anymore.
It looks not bad. Yeah, you just have to go on a little bit further, I think. Yeah. That one there, look, see, come look at my line. right where I'm looking right now is I cut this off right here at 20. Mine's looking pretty good. What?
You're right on your line there.
I'm pretty good. You have to come back a little bit further, I'm thinking.
Yes. Yes, indeed. About an inch.
And then we'll do the cross reference. I'll hold the, if you want to hold the back wheel, Doug.
Sure thing.
And then just like kind of hold so that we don't push it back. And then I'm going to try to.
Hit it with a big hammer.
I haven't got a big enough hammer, buddy.
Well, you broke it. That's why.
Not bad there now. Just a second. We're pretty close. We're pretty close. I want that up there further though. All right, hold the back wheel again, Doug.
There you go, buddy. Nice hammer.
That did it?
Yeah, you hear it snap itself together.
Okay, good.
All right.
Just, we might want to come maybe a little. Let's do what we're going to do right now is we're going to do a cross measurement. A cross measurement. And we're going to go to fixed points. Hey, come look at this for a sec, Jolene. See this? You can go from there if you want. I'm going to put my hand on it. We're going to go from this corner, from this shackle, not the shackle itself, but the shackle hanger, from that shackle hanger over to whatever we think is, I'm thinking that they would put these on true, and we could measure from the tip of that over to that. Looks like the same distance going on there. Does it not look like the same distance coming out of there?
Yeah, sure.
Or we can go to the bottom of this. Let's do that. You have a tape measure?
Yeah.
You stand in front, Doug. Or actually, if you want to go back to the shackle.
Down there. Yeah.
You want to go on that side first?
It's all good. Either
Either
I'll go
or.
around under here. I don't mind.
Just hold it on the corner of that hanger.
Right here, corner hanger.
That corner of that hanger. And then we'll go right to this, right to there, I guess. We're 71 and a half. Okay? 71 and a half. Excuse me, sweetheart. $71 and 5/8. So that's an eighth. We're an eighth over. So we need to go back just a little tiny bit. Like an eighth. All right, so if you want to hold that back wheel again, Doug.
Sure thing.
I'm gonna kick this bad boy. You can leave that, that'll get, Sweeper will get that.
Money falling out of my
Yeah,
pockets.
Sweeper will get that. The boots will take the brunt of the situation.
You wonder
Did you
why
get
your
that?
feet are sore.
These are called the brunts. What?
You wonder why your feet are sore in the morning.
Ooh, that hurt.
You're too old for that stuff.
I know, Doug. I don't know.
We both are.
And we could let's do that again.
Let's do that again.
Let's do that again. Hold it right on the corner of your, right on the corner of the, just a minute now, what's going on here? Where are you at, Doug? You in the same place?
Right on the corner, man. Right there.
Put it right on the face of the corner. No, yeah, right like that, right on the face. 71 and a half. He doesn't want to let go of the tape.
I'm not letting go.
See that?
I'm not.
Now, you want the face where it was, just on the exact same thing as the other side?
Yeah.
71 and a half, dead on. All right, we're at where we need to be. We're at where we need to be. What do I want to do? I want to make sure that it's, basically what I want to do is I want to make sure that that's tied up on that. But we'll just clamp that, or I can just see how tight that is. It's not bad, it looks good. It looks good. I could self-taper it. Same distance away from the hole. That's a good reference too. If you can take a look here, there's a hole in the chassis just before it's just good to look around when you're doing stuff like this to make sure. It's not really good on your knees, sweetheart, but you can see there's a hole right there where the chassis, there's a hole right here, right? And then you look over the other side and you can see the hole is pretty well identical in the same spot. You know what I mean? There's a hole down, yeah, there's, exactly. Exactly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get that chassis before it was tight up underneath. I'm going to put it tight in there now. I'm going to just stand back and take a look at it for a second.
That looks way cooler.
Well, it sort of does, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
And the reason being is because of the size of the tires. I'm going to be able to get that 2 toolboxes in the side and get that front wrapped around to make it look more in proportion than if it was stretched straight out with the small wheels. All right. This is what I'm going to do.
This is what I'm going to do.
The drill. If you want to take that stripper thing out of that wheel there, I'll just put a self-tapper and pull that frame up is what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the drill bit, put this in it. Douglas, put that in, please. Please. And we're going to drill the frame to bring it up tight on the bottom. And then I can put a piece of weld on. I don't want to put any weld on it until I get the frame up tight to the bottom. I could clamp it, I suppose, but I like a self-tapper. They do the deal. This chassis is pretty good. There. We're up where we want to be, just like that. Piece of piss. Good. Oh, reach readies. Alrighty. And you can remember this piece, that chassis laid up underneath here was not welded, but it had this piece laid on top of it, welded to this, and laid down over here. Then it had a couple pieces welded on there where Doug had ripped off, and we'd ground them off. So what's going to happen is we'll weld this up, and then we'll lay our own piece. We probably will put it inside of this, weld it in here. That way there, when we go to put the floor on it, we're not building it up. We'll weld it down here where the frame rail is, and we'll bring it down on top of this so it cannot move. And all these spot welds on the side are going to stop it from going anywhere. So I'm going to take the welder and knock it on in a couple places here and there and over there. We'll knock a couple places on. That's what we'll do. That's what we do. That's a 220 there, Douglas. I weld that one on from the inside I can. All the holes will have to be filled up, obviously. But I think you understand what's going on there. When I say I'm going to weld it in here, that way there when I put the floor on, it's not built up. Like if I put it on top, then my floor will be knocked up on the top and it won't look good. Or it just won't work that well. Something you got to remember when you're doing stuff like that. Just going to weld it on here. Good thick metal. Like Doug said, this chassis is in really good shape. A really good shape. trying to fill in there a little bit. I'm gonna weld this corner over here. And this piece here that we cut down pretty well locks us in place. We know we're tight at the back, so we should be in good, this is up tight here, it's hitting over there, so we're looking pretty good. No, we're looking excellent. We'll make sure that when we weld that up, we get that welder working the best we can. This is fine. I want to get a pair of vice grips, clamp that tight there. Tighter the better. I swear to God, we've done that before, wouldn't you, Doug?
Yeah, really. It went together pretty slick.
It did, didn't it?
I thought it did. Anyway.
Measured up quick too, didn't it?
I was planning on fighting with it a lot more.
Fist fighting or?
Yeah, fist fight. I'll fist fight anything.
The old canning fist fight. Just gonna weld that there. Keep playing with that until I get welding right. There we go. Beautiful. It's beautiful as you, Jolene, but beautiful. All right, basically what's left now is to weld up all the holes on the chassis. We'll weld one up, show you what it's going to look like. Each hole will get welded up like so, and then we'll flush it off. One thing I didn't do, and I should have, I ground it back here. I was thinking about welding it all the way along the back. I never thought about welding it there, so I'm going to have to get something in there and clean that up a little bit. Maybe stick the die grinder in there. I never even thought of that. You can see how the first holes are clean, but these ones aren't. That was a mistake on my part. But we'll just take the die grinder and stick them in each hole and go for it. I just get around that. I'm going to stick one in this hole. Turn the water speed up a little bit, Doug.
What was that, buddy?
Turn the water speed up a little bit. Good. Thank you.
No problem.
And that's how we're going to do that one. And when we're done, you would think that was a factory unit because the spot weld's a little bit bigger, that's all. That's all. So we'll do all those. There's a lot of welding going on to get that fitted on. But basically, let's do one more time. Let's do a measurement, Doug, and then I probably shouldn't have. I did weld it on, yes I did, but just to We'll do the exact same things we did before.
Sure.
You're putting on the face of that shackle. 71.5. He's not going to let go.
No, I'm not going to let go.
Not gonna let go.
I'll pull you right in here.
Yeah, there you go. Ouch, that's hot. 71.5, right on the money. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. We've got it tied up in the back because we self-tapered up in the back. We've got it ran up as far as we can on the front, so it fits there. We're right on the money. So basically what we're going to do now is I'm going to weld up all the chassis part. Like I said, we'll put a piece in there, down along there to make it nice and tight and right. Doug's going to rip off this stuff on the front because I don't want this no more. We want to leave the chassis. We don't want to cut the chassis or anything on the front, but we want to get this metal ripped off. After we get this all welded up, then it's time to connect the sill part back to the chassis to tighten that back up again, because this part here is going to be holding the outside skirt that's going all the way around, and it's going good. So cut it off, measure back your distance. And whether you cut it long here or you cut it short here, if you're taking 20 out of the chassis, basically it does not matter as long as you take 20 out of this side and 20 out of that side. Alrighty, like, subscribe, come back. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for everything. And remember, Hiltz Auto Co. Buy that gear.